How much longer are you going to stand in your own way? Everything you have right now is because of the person you have become. Your job, your friends, all the materialistic things, your mindset is all because you have allowed it. And once you can realize this, once you can understand this principle, you can change everything about your life. Because if you can realize and if you can accept that everything you have right now is because you've allowed it, you can now realize that you can gain more by expecting more of yourself. And what I've come to realize lately is I'm the person to work a restaurant job. I'm the person to work a 9-to-5 job right now. And by putting in my 2 weeks and realizing that I'm never looking back, I'm only going to get better from here on out, I'm now becoming somebody who does not do that anymore. I'm now expecting more from myself. I'm not allowing myself to go down to underneath my new baseline. And you can do the same. You can require more from yourself, but you have to realize you have to place your firm foundation in something much greater than yourself. Because you fail, you lose, you get worse, but God never does. God has never failed me. In my 23 years of life right now, He has never once failed me. And that is why I continue to put my faith and my trust and everything else in Him. Because He's told me to quit my job, and that is what I'm doing. And though I'm very frightened in certain aspects of it, I'm also very excited. I'm also very excited to see where this will lead me. Because every single time He's told me to jump, I've jumped, and I've, by consequent, become so much better. So I want you to look at your friends. I want you to look at how you think. I want you to look at your job and your room and everything else in your life, your hygiene, all of it. It's all because you have allowed it to get to this point. And a lot of people complain they're not making enough money, but you're the one to go get that job. You're the one to go take the job interview. You're the one to continue to work this job and not go get a new one. And you could come up with a million excuses, but you're still the one to still be working that job. And that's what I had to come to realize. And with this obviously comes a lot of fear. And it obviously comes a lot of uncertainty because you may not know where it's going to end up. But I want you to concentrate on you crossing that bridge once it arises. You don't have to focus 10 years in the future. Where am I going to be 10 years from now if I quit my minimum wage job? And it sounds so foolish now that I look back on it. It's like, why am I worrying about quitting a restaurant job when I could, if it all failed and I wanted to go back, even though I'm not allowing myself to, I could just go get another one. I could literally just go get another job. It's not like I'm just closing the door and now I'm succumbing to this and never going to be able to get a job again. And a lot of it, I want you to look at your life because we think the same too. It's like we'll never get more. And that comes with a lot of insecurity. So how you get more insecurity or security is by proving to yourself what is possible. And another reason to put your faith in God is because every time you trust in Him and you see that He never fails you, you'll gain more and more faith in Him. And you'll be able to jump larger and larger and larger distances. And I've seen this now is a year ago, I would have never quit my job. Even though I loved entertaining the idea, I would have never done it because I did not have enough faith in God. But as He has shown me more and more throughout my life, and as He's continued to show me that every time I put my trust in Him, He will deliver me. He will show me what's coming next in my life. I've grown more and more faith through His strength and His strength alone. And the fact that He's never changing. He's always been and always will be. So if you can put your faith in God, if you can put your faith in something so much higher than yourself, you can achieve anything He has in mind for you. Because you're not succumbing to yourself anymore. I tried to put my faith in myself and I continued to fail. And that's why I stayed the same. That's why I only allowed myself to, get out so much. Because I was in a survival mode instinct. I was in get what I can right now, but I'd spend it all. I'd lose it all right after. And a lot of you are doing the same thing right now. You're all in this survival mode instinct that you can't look past this. You're stuck in the same day, perpetuating over and over again, and it's continuing to make you worse. You're not getting new friends because you think you'll never get new friends. So you allow the same ones to continue to ruin your life. You're not getting a new job because you don't believe you can get a new job. You're not doing better things for yourself because you don't deem yourself respectful enough to have these things. But what you have to realize is this bar is always going to stay the same unless you begun to rise it. You see, I would always work at a restaurant until I get to the point where I quit a restaurant, is when I make the conscious decision that I'm never clocking back into a job underneath another person. That's the conscious decision you have to make in circumstances in your life. I had to come to this too about hanging around people constantly disrespecting me. I just say, I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to fight with them or anything. I'm not going to, start drama, but I'm just not going to allow it. And once you begin to not allow things to happen in your life anymore, if somebody continues to disrespect you, it does not mean you have to go fight them. It does not mean you have to backstab them, but it means you need to start requiring more about your life. You need to start requiring more from your life. And also, I've forgiven all of these people through God's strength. But that does not mean I'm going to continue to allow myself to be disrespected from them and pull me down as a consequence of that. So you have to build this relationship with God. You have to build this relationship with something higher than yourself, with something that you can put your confidence in that will never fail you. And then this will allow you to jump. And every single time you jump, you get more confidence because you've now proven yourself that you can jump and everything will be okay. And I saw the biggest one from this, actually one of the biggest, because this was a huge one too, making this account. The second biggest was probably moving out because I was very nervous at the time. I was very excited / nervous, but I could not see the future far enough. And as an example of that, I did not want to, jump. I didn't trust God enough. I didn't have enough faith. But how he helped me and why I strongly encourage everybody to get into the word, especially if they say they don't hear God, but they're never in his word. They're never in the thing that he gave us to read. Get into his word. Because the day I signed the apartment lease papers, he said, depart from your kindred and go into the land which I will show you, which is the most direct thing I think he could have said in that moment. Depart from your family, leave your family's home and go into the land which he will show me. And as a consequence of that, my life has drastically changed and continues to change because I took the leap of faith that he's called me to take. So what is the leap of faith God has called you to take? And what is holding you back? How are you standing in your own way? How are you refusing to up the bar of what you require in your life? Because a lot of us like to lay in bed all day, but we allow ourselves to do so. We like to hang around people that constantly disrespect us, but it's because we allow ourselves to do so. Start requiring more from yourself. Start putting your trust in something higher than yourself, and your whole entire life will change. Once prayer becomes your habit, miracles become your lifestyle.